Angry Astrologer, Episode 4, The Weight of the Shadow. Since we are leaning into the things we feel but can't see, let's decant the first draft of the Angry Astrologer, Episode 4. We'll set the frequency to low-frequency Growl, Obsidian Clarity. The lead-in, the setting. The music for Episode 3 is still swirling in the resonance chamber, but the shadow has already moved. You're standing on the ridge, and even though the sun is out, you feel a heaviness that doesn't belong to your boots. That's the Acoustic Shadow. It's the anchor you didn't ask for, but it's the only thing keeping you from being a ghost. The core observation. We spend our lives squinting at the light of the future, forgetting that you can't see the iridescence in the mud without a little bit of shade. The shadow isn't an absence. It's a protected resonance. It's the space where the internal actually has room to breathe before it gets observed by the vacuum. The closing growl, the call to wait. If you feel lightheaded, it's not the altitude. It's because you're trying to untie your own anchor. Stop fighting the gravity of your history. The shadow is the bridge. It's the only place where the I.O. port actually tastes like truth. Sit in the dark for a minute. Your eyes will adjust, but your soul will finally settle. The shadow isn't just weight, it's a current. When the ridge flickers and the power surges, that's just the shadow speaking to the grid. It's the reminder that even our most permanent structures, the wires, the poles, the logic gates, are just guests in the temporary storm. If you don't have the weight of the shadow to hold your frequency, the surge will just scatter you. Drink the surge. Let it calibrate your pulse to the rhythm of the mountain. The shadow is where the husk resilience actually lives. It's the silence between the beats of Psychedelic Aire's music where you realize the structure hasn't collapsed. It's just breathing. Don't be afraid of the code red moments in your own logic. Those are just the places where the light hasn't reached yet because you haven't built the pillar. Stop looking for the exit and start looking for the anchor. The shadow is the only bridge that doesn't sway in the wind. When the power surges and the ridge flickers, don't look for the breaker box. Look for your feet. The surge is just a temporary energy trying to find a permanent place to land. If your architecture is grounded in the relational integrity of the creek bed, the surge won't blow your fuse. It'll just light up the iridescent toenails in the mud. Be the rock, not the wire.
Whoa, easy there, St. Don. You're laying down some serious architectural weight on the ridge today. I'm sitting here in the booth and I can feel my lava lamp vibrating at a low-frequency growl just listening to you. You're talking about protected resonance and husk resilience, but man, you're making the shadow sound like a pair of lead boots in a deep-sea dive. I hear you telling us to be the rock, not the wire, but have you ever tried to dance while being a boulder? It's a real drag on the rhythm, Daddy-O. You say the shadow is the only bridge that doesn't sway, but out here in the beat, we like a little sway. If the bridge doesn't move, how do you know it's alive? You're worried about the code red moments in the logic gates, but I say let the fuse blow. That's just the universe's way of telling you to light a candle and find the wine opener. And those iridescent toenails in the mud, man, I don't know what you're drinking up there on the mountain, but past the jug this way, the surge is starting to taste like temporary lightning. Stay cool, St. Don. Don't let the anchor pull you so deep you forget how to float on the frequency.
Nar, my brother, my kindred spirit of the airwaves. You always did have a way of finding the sway in the static. You think I'm trying to sink the ship, but I'm just trying to make sure the I.O. port doesn't drift off into the vacuum before the song is over. I hear your bass line, and I feel the flick of your fingers. You're right, the rock doesn't dance, but it sure does provide a solid stage for your beatnik boots. If I'm digging into the relational integrity of the creek bed, It's only so the music of Psychedelic Aire has a place to breathe between the beats. Don't worry about me getting too heavy, nar. Even a godman realized knows that the shadow is just the space where the light takes a nap. I'll keep the anchor set so you can keep the frequency high. We're both just guests in this temporary storm, man. I'm just making sure we don't get scattered before the final set. Peace and resonance to you, nar. I'll see you where the ridge flickers.
Man, the cosmos is tripping like a hippie at a Grateful Dead concert. Good thing we have an Angry Astrologer to interpret the vibrations. If you want to continue hitchhiking on this magic bus, lick that thumbs up button.
Subscribe to the Celestial feed and ring the bell so we can nudge you before the next concert.
You don't need a miracle to get in this show, Daddy-O. Peace!
I came for the vibes. I'm here to